Cheryl Mercedes, thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with breaking news. Hundreds of people were abandoned with no power and no air conditioning and no help for days. Tonight, the city is responding to an independent living facility. Independence Hall is just off Burris Street and Airline Drive. That's in North Houston. Our Jalissa Garza spoke with residents and the mayor. She joins us live from that scene. And Jalissa, what did people tell you there?
Well, Cheryl, the residents here tell me that problems at this complex are nothing new, which is why some of them say they were not surprised that they have not seen management here. Now, we're told majority of the people that live here either have a disability or are a senior citizen, so it's been difficult. Now, city leaders want to know who's in charge.
I just wanted to jump in ice.
Ice bags, a sign of relief for residents at the Independence Hall apartment complex after days with no power.
And I had to sleep in my car. I got to take a shower when the water was cold, so that cools you off a little bit. But other than that, no, it was unbearable.
Lucy tells us she hasn't seen management in days. The Houston Fire Department was alerted Sunday of the situation here.
They were out here without any electricity, no management checking on them. A lot of them have told me directly that they hadn't had anything to eat in quite a while.
On top of that, some apartments were damaged, like Ofelia Villanueva's. Her living room still full of debris, and the rooms took a hit too.
Toda la carpeta está mojada. Toda la madera de la cama.
Ofelia says the carpet in her room is wet from the rain, her bed too. Mayor John Whitmire getting a first-hand look at the damage.
And I'm so sorry that people have to live in these deplorable conditions. The storm made it worse, but this unit's been neglected for years.
Mayor Whitmire says he plans to find a way to help Ofelia and the other residents who call this place home.
I'm going to get the housing department to see what options we have, certainly with temporary care, but they need long-term care. So.
Ofelia told us that her son, who has a disability, was able to go and stay with her friend while she was here trying to clean up what was left behind. Now, the Houston Fire Department tells us that 2 people were transferred today, and Mayor Whitmire says he wants the housing director here tomorrow. Live in the north side, Jalissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
The storm revealing what the mayor says has been a problem for a long time. Thank you so much, Jalissa. Tonight, we have learned another person has died in connection to the storm. Houston Fire Chief Sam Pena says the death was a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. That brings the total of people who have died in connection to the storm to at least 8. Tonight, CenterPoint says at least 80% of its customers who lost power in the storm should have electricity. Across the area, we saw crews hard at work. This is at West 34th Street and Antoine Drive in Spring Branch, Garden Oaks, and the Cypress area just off of 290. In the last 30 minutes, CenterPoint is showing 239,000 customers without power. Since the storm Thursday, crews have restored power to more than 680,000 homes and businesses. CenterPoint hopes to have most power back up by Wednesday, but says some people may need to get an important piece of equipment fixed first.
There are going to be some people by Wednesday that we can't deliver power to because they have damage to customer-owned equipment, like their weatherhead. For people who don't know, your weatherhead is the point at which power enters your home. It is usually through a pipe on the side of a building, and if your weatherhead is damaged, it is not safe for us to re-energize your home or your business.
If you think your weatherhead may have been damaged, CenterPoint says you need to have a licensed electrician come out. Once they have submitted permits for the repairs to the city, then you can call CenterPoint and ask them to reconnect your power. Right now, several Houston area school districts tell us they will not open tomorrow. And so far, that's Aldine ISD, Channelview, Cy-Fair, Galena Park, Southwest Public Schools, and Spring Branch ISD. Lomax Elementary and LaPorte ISD will also be closed. All other LaPorte ISD schools are open. Idea Hardy Public School and Idea Lake Houston are also closed. And in the last 30 minutes, Houston ISD sent its final list of schools that will be open and closed. The district was waiting to see how many campuses would have power restored. Right now, the district says 54 campuses do not have adequate power, air conditioning, or food. Students who go to those schools will be able to pick up breakfast and lunch if they need it. We have that full list for you on KHOU.com right now. Tonight, some families may be struggling to figure out how their children will be taken care of. Many lost everything in the freezer and refrigerator when they lost power. All of that food can be difficult to replace. Devon Roming has been talking to parents and groups working to help. Hey, Devon.
Well, parents tell us it's been a tough few days trying to keep food on the table, but community groups are working to change that. From homes and schools to churches.
We were not able to have church.
Many remain powerless, but the service must go on for those in need.
Especially right now with foods flying off the shelf in the grocery store, with power still being out, people's food inside the refrigerators are going out.
Pastor Brandon Barber is the missions pastor at Hope City Church near Spring Branch, one of the hardest hit areas during the deadly storm.
Whatever the city needs and our community needs, we're trying to be here to help.
Partnering with several organizations like Convoy of Hope and Mercy Chefs, an organization that's served more than 26 million meals worldwide since 2007.
Since we hit the ground yesterday running, we have probably done over 5,000 meals already.
Providing everything from cleaning supplies and non-perishable foods to hot meals. Meals which Barber says families with kids are depending on as Spring Branch ISD schools remain closed until further notice.
If they're not meeting in school, then they can't get those meals. Whether they come here to get food and supplies or we take it to them, we want to make sure that our teachers, our schools, and our community make sure they're not missing out on anything.
Offering a little hope in a city that remains strong through it all.
Right now we're scheduled Monday through Wednesday, and we have 2 shifts, 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. But if we need to go beyond that this week, we're going to continue to be a help to our city.
Now, leaders with HISD schools say they plan to open more than 200 schools tomorrow. They will also have meals available for pickup at schools which remain closed. In Houston, Devon Roming, KHOU 11 News.
Tomorrow, several blocks of downtown will remain closed to the public. That includes Louisiana Street to Travis and McKinney to Polk. Glass littered the streets after Thursday's storms. The winds reached speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, blowing out windows at several high-rises. Workers will be replacing them. Municipal courts will also be closed tomorrow. Tomorrow, early voting for the May 28th primary runoff elections will begin. 44 voting centers are able to open despite the challenges from Thursday's storm. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday. The election day is May 28th. You can find a list of voting locations on KHOU.com. We have a lot more coverage for you on KHOU.com, including school closures, how to safely use a generator, and checking power outages. Just text the word storm to 713-526-1111 and we'll text you back with links to those stories. Now a live look toward downtown from our camera near the Gulf Freeway. Things will be heating up into the start of the week. Let's go to meteorologist Pat Cavlin. Pat, not good for people without AC. The fire department says they've already made 18 heat-related calls just today. That's what they responded to.
Yeah, so the faster they can get the power back on and we can get the AC going again, the faster that we can actually enjoy this nice dry stretch of weather, the first stretch of dry weather we've had in weeks, which remember is good news for folks with tarps on their roofs, and it's good news for folks still recovering from the flooding north and east of the city along the Trinity and San Jac rivers. So we've had 2 disasters in the Houston area the last few weeks. Quiet out there right now, but yeah, it was hot. 91 the high temperature today. We're going to be hot again as we get into tomorrow, and it's still really warm out there. Temperatures on either side of 80 degrees with a lot of humidity. That's how your Monday shakes out. We'll start in the 70s. We'll end up in the 80s by 11 a.m. and then eventually into the 90s by the afternoon with mainly sunny skies. We do start the day with a lot of clouds, but then sunshine takes over for the afternoon. We stay in the low 90s to upper 80s. By the middle of the week, more clouds come in. We do stay dry, though, but that could change Thursday and Friday. We will talk about the possibility of another storm chance when I see you back here for the full forecast in about 10 minutes. Cheryl?
All right, Pat. See you then.